Hey guys, this is Harnoor.
And Sage. Also, I'm not his girlfriend. I'm his cousin. There is a difference.
Yep. And we are back with another part of high school comparison between India and US.
Yeah. First things first, we're going to talk about clubs because I'm sorry that I promised that to you in the first one. Didn't realize we'd run out of time because you're a college dude. But clubs, since you don't have clubs like that in India that we do. I thought this would be really interesting for you guys. Like, for example, the example I showed you in part 1, that is broadcast. That's broadcasting club. And we actually do the school announcements in the mornings. And we tell them the events that are going on in the school, and it helps build school spirit. Not only that, that's not the only club that we have. We have chess club, we have many different extracurriculars that actually you can show colleges, and then they can determine through that whether you would be a good fit for the school or not. Again, it's not just grades, it's holistic, like he said.
So talking about India, we have clubs as well, but those are rare in some good schools. And I was in a good school and we had pretty good clubs. For example, some academic clubs like math club, computer science club, and also some extracurricular clubs like sports club, cricket club, and you can do a bunch of things in those clubs. So you can organize some cricket matches in cricket clubs, and in computer science clubs we hosted some competitions. I was a secretary back then, and I was participating in competitions, and I was second in one of them in web development competition. That's not the point, but I was helping them organize more competitions and bring in more students in those competitions. And these things do help in getting into a good university in the US.
So we do have academic clubs like what he said, but actually are those kind of clubs we have to have certain grades to be in, or else they kick you out. For us it's called Beta Club and National Honor Society. See, it already sounds fancy. They call it society. but most clubs are actually are there to spread awareness. But they're not like academic kind of clubs. Like they show colleges what your interests are. Like I was in Girls Learn International Club, which is basically a club for feminism. Like women empowerment, because I do consider myself a feminist. I'm sorry. That's just my personal beliefs. And I was also in multicultural club because the school I go to, the minority percentage is very low, and we spread awareness of the different cultures there, and a lot of people are interested in that. So not very academic, but more interest-based and opinion-based clubs.
But in India, grades is not a requirement to be in clubs. You just need to show some passion and interest in that club, and they will take you in. And that's extracurricular back in my high school. If you don't want to be in a club, you can choose not to be.
I mean, that's the same for us. We don't have to be in, but colleges want to see more than just a number on your transcript.
Correct.
They don't want to see a robot. They want to see someone, a living, breathing human with interests. and clubs are actually the reason why entrepreneurship is so much more available here, which is why we can be like poets, artists, musicians if we want to. Like one of my friends, he's going to Belmont School of Music to pursue music. And you might say that's a bad idea. He just got out of colleges. Why is he wasting money on that? Backup plan. Just because he wants to be a musician now, and if it doesn't work out, he can always be an accountant later. That's why he's double majoring.
So that brings us to a very important point, because back in my high school, back in India, I was pretty much surrounded by people who are doing 9-to-5 jobs. For example, my parents used to say that, look at that person who is doing 9-to-5 job as a judge and he's getting paid well. Look at that girl who is a doctor and she's getting paid well after doing a 9-to-5 job. So that's the reason we have less entrepreneurs, and we become entrepreneur after we get bored with those 9-to-5 jobs. We don't consider it as an option in high school or even in college.
Yeah, no, we're not taught money. We are not taught that money is everything. We're taught we have to enjoy our job, which, by the way, I still think money's everything. So again, if my friend doesn't do well as a musician, if he doesn't get enough money, he's going to go to a 9-to-5 job. But the point is, he tried. He didn't start off as a 9-to-5 job because everyone around him was a 9-to-5 job. Because that's what America is about. It's about identity. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about going out there and trying new things. Sorry. But
and yes, and when you are under 25, and that's the best time to take risks, and that's what Americans are taught. But in India,
you're taught to support you're taught that you need to get a job and you need to support your family and that you're unavoidably supposed to marry and have children. And you know what? We're not going to go off that tangent. That's actually the one reason why I'm really glad to be here.
That's right, because after 25 you get married and it becomes extremely difficult to do startups.
No, I'm good.
So the next point that comes up is grading, and back in India it's obvious that you get percentages in grade 10 and 12, so it's like 100% is the highest possible you can get, and a lot of people get 98-99% in grade 10 and also in grade 12.
Yeah.
And the passing grade is in some cases 33% and in some cases 50%. I pretty much remember that it's 50%, and excluding practical exams it's 33%. Yeah, what about yours?
Well, for us, but you also lost like a lot of points for a mistake too. So, but for us, we have A, B, C's, and D's, and F's.
Mm-hmm.
F that? You can censor that. Our A's were all 90 and above. B's were 80 to 89. C's and D's somewhat were. The D was a 70 only, and then C's were 71 to 79, and then below a 70 is
F. Yeah, fail. Yeah.
Yes.
But don't think that American education system is difficult because of that point, because they are counting every single thing they are doing, because they are counting homework, quizzes, final exams, and a bunch of other things into their grade.
Do y'all not count homework into your grade?
Not really. We don't.
Why would you do your summer homework if it's not a grade?
No, it's not a grade. I mean, in some schools it could be, but back in CBSE board, it wasn't the part of grade. It was just some unit tests and final exams, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. For me, my summer homework, which by the way, most schools don't have summer. Most American schools don't have summer homework. I only had summer homework for my APs, but my summer homework were all graded, like major grades, because they kind of want you to do it. So they're gonna give you incentive to do it. And now my classes homework isn't really that much of a deal anymore. But when I was younger, it really was a big deal. You needed to do your homework, which really bothered me in math class because I really never needed to do it because I already knew it. So I always thought math class homework was really stupid and dumb. But it's okay. So yeah, that's it for grading. Now that we've talked about grades, let's talk about how to get those sweet, spicy A's with our tests.
Yep.
I actually got this idea after we released part 1. A kid DM'd me and was like, are all your tests multiple choice questions? And like, if that's the pre-notation of American schools, that all our tests are multiple choice, no. It's actually up to our teachers. Our teachers can choose to give us a multiple choice test, or like an essay, or they can give us true or false, fill in the blanks, matching. We get all of that. But yes, most state required tests are multiple choice along with an essay, but they're never only multiple choice, because unless you're just it's a bad test. Like my EOC for macroeconomics, that was completely multiple choice. I got a good grade, but I'll admit I didn't learn anything. Multiple choice tests don't teach me much.
Same goes for Indian high schools. So we have a bunch of things mixed together: multiple choice questions, subjective questions, fill in the blanks, and all those are present in CBSE board grade 9 to 12. But in competitive exams after grade 12, you get only multiple choice questions, especially in IIT-JEE preparation, so IIT-JEE exams. And in those exams, you will have to maybe choose one or more options that are correct out of those 4 multiple choice options, or there will be just one correct out of those 4 options, and there will be negative marking. Don't think that multiple choice questions are easy. They are difficult, and that's the reason I got only 97 out of 360 back in my IIT-JEE mains exam. I failed. Yeah.
So I'm not the only one who fails tests.
True.
But for our multiple choice tests are quite easy because we only have like memorization, like what date was this dude born? He was born on 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. Our multiple choice tests are normally easy, which is why when we get into higher, we don't only have multiple choice questions. It's very rare for us to only have multiple choice questions because when we do get multiple choice questions, they're very easy. So we're going to have essays. Well, that's what really gets me sometimes. I am a good writer, but I also write in circular fallacies, so I end up missing many points in my essays because of that.
Wow. And what about SAT exams? Does your school provide any help in preparing for those exams?
We have full classes in order to prepare for those exams.
Those are mandatory, provided by every high school?
I mean, they're not mandatory, but most people take them if they want a good grade. Like, I took it. I took SAT prep, but then, which was actually kind of useless for me because I took the ACT and I got a good grade on the ACT. So
how much?
I got a 32.
Nice. Amazing. Brilliant. I got 27, but...
High five. That was what I got the first time I took it, so...
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
You're supposed to get a lower grade the first time and you practice and build up. How many times did you take these?
1. Okay, I could have tried for the second one, but that was good enough for Georgia State University, so I didn't try hard.
Yeah, that's all.
It's not that bad.
For me, I'm lucky I got into Emory because 32 is the lowest one on the score, so yay.
Wow, good point. So now talking about competition, so back in Indian high schools, you compete with each other, with your peers, and you're gonna aim for the highest possible marks you can get because that's important to get into a good university. Because so for IITs, you need a better rank. So you will be competing with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. I think there are 14 lakh students who apply for IIT mains, and only like 10,000 people get into IIT. IIT is the best engineering school, so it's pretty tough. What about your high school and the competition?
Well, when 1.4, I know words. 1.4 million people are applying to IET colleges and only like 10,000 people are getting in. Well, yeah, you're going to have competition there. But kids are going to just keep trying to climb over each other and get to those positions because there's just simply not enough of them. But in America, where there's so many different niche for so many different people, where there's like little pockets of places that are all being filled, instead of like one big mass of people, you're gonna have less competition among each other. In fact, we've got more competition between the schools, respectively, than the kids within it. We are only doing our best not to compete with each other, to compete with the neighboring school. Like, there is a rumor that our rival school has a poster on why our school is bad. Which, by the way, if that rumor is true, the poster is a lie, because we're obviously better than them in every means possible. Duh.
So that shows how united their schools are and
school spirit.
And they are studying together. I mean, not studying together, but they are helping each other to do better so that their school can do well.
Exactly.
Pretty good point.
The thing is, we don't get to choose where our school is. We get to choose based on the neighborhoods. So that's why we're so united as a group. So we're never dividing each other through competition. The competitions are always bringing us together. We never ever hear about someone else's grades. We don't know each other's rankings unless we're like close friends. Like, remember I told you about my 2 in physics? My best friend, he got a 4. Was I upset about it? Did I hate him afterwards? No. Did he make fun of me for it? Yeah. But it was lighthearted. I'd never take it to heart or be like, no, now I need to beat him at everything. Because I'm actually better at math than him. He got an 88 on his final exam. I got a 98, so.
I remember in my high school, I used to ask my professor all the time, what's the highest in this exam, or what did you get, my friend?
We'd probably get detention if we tried to ask.
Wow.
Because that is their private business. For in here, our grades are for ourselves, not for our grandma, not for our parents.
Wow.
For me.
That's a good thing. That should happen in India as well.
That really should. Like, have you guys seen That Is a Meme Bug? if you have, comment down below. I really want to hear your opinions on it. It's my second favorite movie, other than 3 Idiots.
Wow.
Coincidence, they both have American in it.
Wow.
But anyways, when that kid was getting bad grades and everyone knew, wouldn't it have been better if no one knew? Even if he was struggling, at least his reputation would have been safe. Because that is a thing still in our school. We do have that social hierarchy on grades. The bad kids always stick together. The good kids are always friends with each other. And I think that needs to stop as well. But it's okay. It doesn't bother me.
Wow. What about curve? For example, in India, there's no relative marking. For example, if only one student gets 90 and rest of the students get below 80 or below 70, then there will be no curve. Like, you will still have the 70 and your percentage will be calculated using that score. And I think in your school it's relative, right?
I mean, yeah, we get a curve. And
That's
now
pretty good.
this is going to be such an unpopular opinion. I'm going to get so much hate for this. But I actually don't like the curve. 3, 2, 1. I'm expecting all the comments to go like, oh, she's an ungrateful American. Their grades are increasing and yet she's complaining. Here's the thing. It's good. Yes, okay, the curve is good. But I still feel bad about having it because I know I really didn't deserve that grade.
Oh.
If I know, and I got a 70 and I curved up to an 85. Personally, I still feel like I had gotten a 70, and I'm still yelled at because I got that 70. Internally yelled at. No one yells at me anymore. I'm not 12.
Yep. I agree, because you got an 85 because other students didn't do well.
It's not good.
True.
Like, I shouldn't be happy about that 85. I should take my. I mean, I'm glad my grades are good. I'm not complaining. I just wish I could have done better without the curve.
Let's talk about some interesting facts and differences. So, talking about summer homework or summer projects, I've heard that you guys don't have any summer homework in some cases, in some high schools.
Most high schools don't have summer homework.
Wow. I'm
Stop.
jealous.
Stop. Okay, you know what? But I mean, APs have summer homework. My school is one of the rare cases which does have summer homework, so you can stop being jealous now.
Wow. So the reason behind that is, in India, the school session starts in April and ends in March. But yours start in April after summer is over. So that's why you guys don't have any summer homework.
I mean, we still have it, depending on the teacher. And I actually have liked my summer homework because I always feel more prepared when school begins because I have done it. And because it was a major grade, but we can go look back at that at the grading section.
And what about winter break? Do you have homework in this break?
I had homework this break.
Okay.
It was optional homework, but I did it because tomorrow I'm gonna have a test for macroeconomics. So I think it was good that I did the homework. So like when I take the test, I don't flunk it. We have things in high school called all or nothing tests. You know what that is?
No.
An all or nothing test is a test where you either get a 0 or 100.
I've never seen that type of test in India.
I've already had 2 of 2 tests. I had one in math, derivatives. It took me 3 tries to get 100.
Wow.
I still got it, so.
That's good.
And then this test, I'm really hoping he gives us extra tries since you were supposed to have studied over the summer. I totally studied.
Very nice. And
that's obviously sarcasm.
So do you know what? I think that if you get a mental break for a longer period of time, for example, if you get no homework at all in summer, then you might feel lazy while studying when the school reopens. Is that true?
It's up to the person. I mean, somewhat, yeah. Or it's actually, for me, I started looking forward to school to begin because I haven't seen some people in a while because they were out. So it has its perks. It has its bad spots. Did you know in America the reason we have a whole summer break is because in the 1940s and 1930s we had a lot of summer sicknesses which kids needed to recuperate from. And that's why we have such long summer breaks. Because no one wants a kid to come to school sick. And that's still a thing we have now. Kids get in trouble if we go to school sick.
Wow.
And I've only went to school sick once. And that's how I got my concussion.
Oh.
It's a story for another time though. Another interesting fact is that one of my DMs actually asked me this question. Hey DM person, I'm answering it now. Yes, we don't have school uniforms. I could go in this shirt and I'd be cool. It's about America, individuality, the American dream. It's all about that.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And one more interesting fact that I think you do not have to carry those heavy backpacks to school.
That is a lie. That is a freaking lie. Those locker rooms suck. They're small, tiny. You can't even put your binder in it without it not closing on you. So no, we have to carry our gosh darn backpacks around all the time because our lockers don't work. And my locker, its lock is broken, by the way. And I still have to talk to my teacher about it. I'm not looking forward to that. Plus, I don't even use my locker anymore because it's just so tedious and annoying.
Wow. And how heavy is your backpack? It's pretty heavy. I mean, you must not have weighed it, but I mean, just
I mean,
it is heavy?
No.
It's not, right?
You wanna hold my backpack?
Later on, but the point is, if it's not heavy for her, then that means it's pretty light. And my backpack was heavy for me.
Here's the reason why. Now we have Chromebooks and a lot of electronic textbooks, so it doesn't really. Most of my stuff is online, so I feel like air is lighter than textbooks. So
True.
That's a perk of having a Chromebook.
So you guys carry laptops to school?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Even elementary schools can have Chromebooks too.
Wow. And what about cell phones? Are you allowed to carry cell phone or keep it in your pocket?
Not anymore. After we got the Chromebooks, cell phones got banned.
Wow.
We got Chromebooks this year though, so that's a new thing. It's not like special for every single high school. Our high school specifically has Chromebooks, so we can do our work better there.
So back in my high school, back in grade 11, we used to submit our cell phones and then continue for the rest of the day. But what do you guys do?
We have phone pouches. We can keep it around in the hallways and for lunch, but we have to put them up in like a red phone pouch, like right like that. So in every specific class, some teachers choose to use it, some teachers don't. Like. Most of my teachers don't choose to use it though. So. But
back in India, we were not even allowed to use our cell phones in the breaks. I think it's good because it's less of a distraction.
Yes, it's very good. Honestly, cell phones are a huge problem for me, and I need to develop that self-control before I get to college. I have months to do it though. Though that mindset is not good, but I am working on it. I'm trying to make sure I don't use my cell phone as much as I normally do, especially with my homework. I would like to keep it away from me when I do my work because it really is a distraction.
True, correct. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Did I lie this time?
No.
Did you lie this time?
No, not at all.
That's what I thought. See ya.
See you. Bye. We are going to record now. Where are you, Sage?
I'm getting something to eat.
Come on, please. Hanji.
No, do you want me to eat you?
No, please don't.
Then can I please have my food?
Okay, sure. Okay, go ahead.
Hi.
Okay, so now, sorry, I messed up a little bit. So now talking about competition. So back in Indian high schools, competition exists in every high school because you are competing with. So now talking. Last time.
Someone's being a little twisty with his tongue today.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you do this every single time? Yeah, get a sip of that water.
Yeah.
You need some ice for that burn.
Yep. So now talking about competition. So back in Indian high schools.
I think your brain is competing with your tongue.
No, it's not. Last chance.
But
Last chance.